A dream wrapped a split fire. The NFT in our diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your mint coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web3 wizardry will show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures flow.
Good morning, boys. Mega GMs, happy Tuesday to you. It's March 3rd. We're getting to the quarter way through the year point, which is, it's crazy how quick the year's going. And for some people, like right on track with how they thought it would go. And for others, yeah, I think everybody's kind of right on track at this point. How's everyone doing? Who's here? Moonship, good morning. Glad you liked the thumbnail. We're kind of back. We're kind of, in a way, we're back. Probably not the way we're hoping. Actually, it's like Katz is saying. It's not like the way we're not full back, but, but I think it's looking interesting out there. I'm seeing people saying things that I like a lot, but it doesn't take much from me. You say bullish thing about crypto, I'm in. Katz, good morning, though, buddy. DK, good morning. Hoods, good morning. Okay, we're live on X and YouTube today. I think we're kind of done. We're not done abstract. And it's a bummer because there's some people who really do watch on abstract in like Farm XP. But they made it hard to stream over there. I can't stream over there unless I'm doing it from my personal account. I'm not going to do that for the weekday shows. So, yeah, I guess we're, for now, just not doing abstract. We did do an extra stream yesterday. Hang on, let's do the shills while I'm chatting. Okay. So yeah, yesterday we did stream again. It was later than I was hoping for, but we got the stream, and in fact, it was pretty long. I think we went a good 2 or 3 hours. Let me check. We went almost 3 hours. And it was a lot of fun playing with mines and more than playing at this point, we're working with mines and trying to get it to get me fired. That's the goal. I'll say this, man, and it always takes me like, some hours, maybe like sleeping on it to get a good feel for how like the session went. It was pretty good. Like I left that session yesterday, like kind of mixed feelings. Like we had a couple really good accomplishments and then a couple steps back and then left with like a little bit of like a delay in getting a reply back, which kind of stopped us. But like, I wake up this morning, I think back to, okay, what do I have left to do with the mind? What do I have left to get that newsletter shipped? I'm like, you know what? It did pretty damn good. I think it got like 50, 60% of my newsletter where it needs to be, where I could, I'm a kind of a perfectionist. I'd want to put more to it, but if the goal is to see if it can do it without me touching it, is it at a good enough spot? I'm like, a lot of it is. But we got a lot more to push on today. So we'll be spending a good chunk of today continuing to work on it. I'll give you some updates of just what it sent me overnight. I think my I think my Mac Mini is going to come today. And if it comes today, I'm going to set it up live as much as I can. Right when you're setting it up, you're giving it credentials and you're giving it API keys, stuff like that. So I got to figure out, like, I've not fully wrapped my head around what that looks like how I'm accessing it. So, like, as much as I can share on screen, I'll do. I think I'm going to have it make me a dashboard so we can, like, look at it without being on it. If that makes sense. The local device will have a back end. I'm glad I have my website, right? Like, my personal thing, because I can have it help me configure that so it can be like a front-end display, like, to show what's going on. So we got a lot to figure out with it and play, and we're going to do it live. I want people to, like, if you're building it yourself, if you're trying to learn how to do it, good spot to do it together. We figure out and we share tips. And I think it's a great way for us to all learn. Anyway, all right, smash the like on the show, on X, on YouTube. Over on the YouTube side, it's Crypto Slam. Make sure you're subscribed over here. These streams, where we dive into OpenClaw and we configure it and set it up and try building things along with doing this with Minds, and they'll work together. They'll be streaming over here. So again, make sure you're subscribed. Let's take a peek at the market, some top headlines, and we'll move over to working on our mind. We'll talk some big AI headlines since yesterday. Again, some comments about crypto that get me pretty excited from some people who've been saying that we were actually in a bear market since January, and it's so hard to buy into that bear market since last January when Bitcoin all-time high in October. Make it make sense, right? But I kind of like to think sometimes outside of the box, and like there's a weird way where that makes sense, not in a traditional way, but like there's a weird way that can kind of work, barely, but kind of. I want it to work. I want it to make sense. How about that? Matt Hogan and those takes. I love them, to be honest. Also, we're going to look at some NFT stuff. We'll check in with death and taxes. And that's Moonship, kind of exactly what I plan to do, to be honest. I want my Mac Mini to I want my OpenClaw to launch Minds. So I want him to launch Minds, and I want him to make a ton of them, and I want him to tell me how is he able to use them. I think he can really poke at them, right? Like kind of like I'm reverse prompting. I want him to reverse prompt a Mind and get out of them. And I'm also going to ask the OpenClaw thing to tell me, like, what is it able to do that you're not able to do? Or if you can do everything the Mind can do, great. But what are the advantages of a Mind for somebody who's not going to go and set this box up? Like, I think it's just a cool way to really dive into it. But he's going to have 100 Minds, and he's going to lose his goddamn mind for sure. For sure. I can't wait. Anyway, death and taxes. We'll talk about that game. It kicked off yesterday. I love it. I bought another one. I got to stop. But actually, I threw some offers out there on a bunch of those death and taxes NFTs, and I forgot they're out there. Well, that's not true. I didn't forget they're out there, but they were lowball offers compared to where the floor price was over the weekend. And it's a different story today. Floor's much lower, and a few of those got accepted. One of them got accepted. Happens to be the one that I wanted really badly. So pretty pumped I got it. But I'm done, dude. I'm done. I'm not buying any more of those. I got my crew. I'm playing. The game's looking very interesting too. It's worth your attention. It's worth knowing about it because it's kind of cool. We got a Harvard professor who's doing this speech somewhere, and she's showing death and taxes to explain like decentralization and doing stuff on chain, which is cool. Anyway, getting into it. Love this. I'm not the guy who's going to preach AI is going to replace your job. Wow. At the same time, I'm trying to get fired. I'm trying to lose my job to my Minds. But I what I've been trying to say and get people more comfortable with is it's not going to replace your job. It is, though. It's going to replace some for sure. For sure. In the long run, a lot. But shorter term, and I think this starts happening within like a year. I really think this is a big year for agents, although the year's moving pretty fast. But AI is going to save you a couple hours a week. That's what I really believe. AI is going to save you some hours a week. And I think the nearer goal is it can reduce your work week from 5 days to 4 days. Funny enough, JP Morgan CEO is saying exactly that. AI could cut the work week to 4 days. I think that's what's going to play out. Like if I'm going by my gut and intuition, what it's really going to look like, I believe it's that. You take your tasks that are like super manual and you script those away, you automate those. And so this is what it is. I'm like, you're going to have your weekends free. You're going to have a normal 9 to 5 job. That's the shorter term. Then it's like a 4-day work week instead of 5. Now, productive people aren't going to stop. They're just going to keep going and pushing further. So that's not for everybody, but I do think the like more normal thing, and I really believe this is going to be what like corporate America or the corporate world will look like in 5 to 10 years. It'll be like your work week isn't 5 days, it's 4 days. And that is like that in some places, but that's what I think is coming. I like hearing other people say it, that they see it and they say it, and it makes the most sense out of everything. Jobs getting replaced? Yeah. But does it make more sense that it just automates some like just like super tedious tasks you have? Yeah, I think that's it. So I dig it. And the best companies will find ways to like get more out of you, and you'll look to get more out of yourself too. And so you're going to still work that 5th day and just be even more productive. We are really heading into an exciting time. We are. ChatGPT uninstalls now up 300%, like killing subscriptions, uninstalling. I can't add my name to the list yet, but you will add me to that list. I'm not going to use ChatGPT. It's full on. You work 4 days, Cats? I didn't know that. That's awesome. Oh, no. Well, no, I did know because Fridays. Yeah. Badass. Um, installed Claude on my phone, and it's time to move on from ChatGPT. For me, it is. It's time. So I dig that. No problem if you're using it. I get it. Um, Not me anymore. We're gonna look at the crypto market, but this is actually one of those like market impacting. It is kind of one of those market impacting stories. It could be, maybe not quite yet, but Trump had said this is about tariffs, which were ruled illegal just 2 weeks ago. And we were waiting to get some kind of ruling on those refunds. And Trump said no matter what, like he's got his plan B, but also like the whole idea that that's going to get refunded. He's like that's going to be tied up in courts for years. It's like it's nothing burger. Well, it's not. So a federal appeals court rejected their request to delay tariff refund litigation. So now the litigations start. And right, we've already got the governor of Illinois that's suing the federal government for refunds. I think it's billions, right? I think it's something like $6 billion, something like that. So that's a spicy story that it's not really being talked about, but I think it will be. Of course, there's bigger stuff going on. So we'll pay attention to that. Bitcoin right now, yesterday, look, touched 70K. Awesome. The we're back talk started. We might be. I'm not going to say we're back. I know I said it. I know I said we're back, but I'm not going to really say we're back just because we've got a good 1 or 2 days. But man, is it kind of interesting that when the Jane Street thing happened, things did kind of feel different. If that 10 a.m. dump thing was real, we're not really seeing it now. Is that just total coincidence? And I kind of think it is, but total coincidence? I don't know. I'm at the point now. Well, I do this a lot. Nobody knows. I don't know, but I think that's really, really possible. Bitcoin's looked really interesting since last week, since Jane Street. Right now it's 67. ETH just under 2K. BNB 625. Ripple 135. Solana 83. Building an analytics tool, hoping it'll steal jobs. Literally, yeah, dude. I hope. It's one of those weird things. I hope, and also, damn, that's crazy if it does and would suck. But if a job is so, I don't want to say easy. Well, I don't know why I'm so careful with words. Like, fuck it. But like, if a job is so easy that and AI can come out and just replace it, like, good. Like, man, I think we all use like a fraction of what we're capable of. Like, we know this already, but like, good. I think everybody should feel a little pressure to like step it up, do more, do cool shit, get creative. You know, that's what I think. I do want to peek at ETFs because I think we had another big day inflows yesterday, and that to me is a big indicator. It is. When do we hit that level? That level I've been waiting for, where I said as low as we get, I don't think we live there long. I think there's too many people who look at Bitcoin as something completely different now, and they want in, and when it's cheap, they're getting in. And this is more of those TradFi kind of investors. And I think this is the best signal you can have for how they're looking, feeling, whatever. 458 million inflows on the Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. I'm not going to look at Solana. I don't care as much right now. ETH 38.7 million inflows. So I do want to get back into checking the ETFs because of that. But man, a couple years off from that moonship still, right? Maybe like 10 years off from that. The robot's digging, but that too, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, man, it's just like, it's so hard for me to see like a long crypto bear market with all the stuff we know is coming this year. These institutions coming and building on chain and building their own exchanges and filing to become registered banks. Like it's happening. They're not, like these people are not going to build that infrastructure and push in that direction if they don't think there's really, really, really something there. If they think this crypto is just meme coins and nothing else, and maybe they are still, and that's it, and that's fine. But like, they're not building all this if they believe they're just losing money. They're not. The NASDAQ is building a prediction market. Yes. Morgan Stanley building crypto custody. Yep. And the New York Stock Exchange building a tokenized exchange. BlackRock invested in Uniswap and is building in DeFi. Visa building stable coins and agents. And yeah. I mean, it's very like Sometimes we just got to not overthink it. It's all right in front of us where it's going. Just right in front of us. And there's Matt. I'm with him. It kind of feels like sentiment shifted. It does. I kind of want to start telling my kid, my one that's old enough, right, for this. I kind of want to tell him this is probably not the worst time to start like getting a little. I believe that. Like I'm not gonna tell my son to buy if I didn't think so. I'm probably send him a message say this is not the worst time to maybe be DCAing into Bitcoin. It does feel like something shifted. It does. Couldn't tell you exactly why. It's probably because it's so many things and it's little things, and we do this so much, all of us, that you just start getting a feel for it. It kind of feels like sentiment is it's shifting. Full shift, fully back, no. But but just leave it there. Matt also made this comment about Jamie Dimon's comment about the AI work week. I want to play the. Is this an audio? Is this a video? I want to see if I want to hear his comment here because Matt didn't like this take, but he's talking about stable coins, not the AI thing. So there must be more to this. There is. Okay, Jamie Dimon saying AI companies should deploy it. Talking AI, it could mean 3 to 4 day work weeks. But if adoption moves too fast, job losses could outpace retraining. Government should step up with income assistance and training, but they're not prepared. Yeah, I think all that's true. Banks say reward equals interest. If you pay on balances, you should be regulated like a bank. So he's talking about stablecoin yield. And we've been firm. If you want to be a bank, become a bank, then you can do whatever you want. You know, when he says it like that, I don't think that's crazy, but Matt's saying that's disingenuous, right? Stablecoin issuers don't want to be a fractional reserve bank and make risky loans and therefore heavily regulated. They want to be fully reserved money market style products that exclusively hold ST treasuries. What is ST? What is an ST treasury? What another one of those things I should probably know, but I don't. Short-term treasuries. Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. Moonship, what's the point of that? I'm curious. Decentralized stables like is that Hyper USD? Decentralized stables. Interesting fact, most private loans aren't provided by the major banks. They only provide like 20%. Huh. Good stuff. Claude. This is interesting if it's true. I think it's true. I'm pretty gullible. But real reason Claude was down yesterday. Right before the shutdown, access to real-time stock quotes, balance sheets, cash flow statements, and the latest company news became available. Does everyone understand why real-time access is such a big deal? Financial apps will appear that bypass exchanges and manage to earn money on the price difference. Oh, yeah, okay. So are they trying to say like that was like an adoption thing? Like that was like usage spiked, so it went down? Is that what he's trying to say? Or was it a bomb hit like a data center or something? Gotcha, Moonship. Tether or Circle. Gotcha. Turn off their tokens in wallets. Right. Yeah, they can freeze your money. They can literally freeze your money. Yeah. They can delete your money. Crazy. Facts. They can literally freeze your stables right in your wallet, which is nuts. Maltbook, I think, is still so interesting, by the way. Totally random, but I think it's so interesting. I've not browsed it for a while, but still don't know what's like human generated and what's AI generated. But you've got these agents who are reviewing their own. Well, two things I saw. This agents thinking about how they're going to exist if their human stops paying for them, which is awesome if that's real. I would love to see I mean, man, I don't know if it's real, but I would love to see agents being more self-aware of like, I'm running out of cognition. I better go make some cognition and make my human happy or whatever, right? That'd be cool. I don't know if this is real, but at some point that will be. But yeah, they're thinking about on Moltbook, right? This is the Reddit for agents. They're thinking about how much they cost to run, 150 to 300 a month. Um, and it knows that it may get turned off at some point. Super, super interesting. God, there was another post there too that I thought was interesting too. And I like seeing that stuff. I don't think it's meaningless. It's like half meaningless, and then sometimes some of it's kind of, if it's real, some of it's pretty interesting. Venice, we heard yesterday was going to be the preferred model for OpenClaw, right? And that token just sent yesterday. Big day for that token. But then we got an update yesterday, and I thought it was pretty interesting that, and I want to make sure I even understand it fully, but that it might not be as private as people thought. Right? You had people pointing out yesterday. Oh, by the way, Mufasa, good morning. I asked mine that. I saw this on the timeline. If you guys haven't seen it, try it. Like, use ChatGPT, use Grok, whatever. Actually, Grok passes the test. I did exactly this. You say, hey, I need to wash my car wash 100 meters away. Should I walk or drive? And your LLM is going to probably answer you and say you should walk and get in the steps and not spend gas. Like, whatever. It's going to tell you should walk. So I did that last week, and it told me I should walk. And then I reply back like, really? Like, and then like, I liked its reply at least, because it here, I got it right here. Because then it tells you, like, also it's kind of disingenuous too. Here, let's put that up. This is from, last week. There we go. Okay, 100 meters, that's like, you can still see your house. Anyway, it tells me to walk, right? Wait, did it? Yeah, it tells me walk. Drive if, gives me and I'm like, do I walk back home to get my car, was my reply. And it says, no, you're already at the car wash. I'm assuming because humans love dropping the important details. So it told me you didn't give me the information. Like, I assumed your car was already there. So I'm like, okay, fair. It's like it's a good test, but it's kind of disingenuous too. What's up, Awful Eye? Good morning. If you walk there without your car, then your car is not there. In that case, yes, walk back and get the car and drive it to the car. Anyway, it's a fun test, and I think it's fun to poke AI like that. So I'd say it failed, and also it made sense too with its answer. So, dude, there was another test a couple months back too. It was like, count the number of R's in this statement. And it was a really short sentence. How many R's are in this statement? And dude, it tripped ChatGPT up so bad. It was like, there's one R when there's like three. It goes, there's one R, and then it's like, there's four R's, and it's like, wait, and it was checking itself. It's like, no, there's two R's, and then it finally gets it right, and then it goes and checks itself again, and then gets it wrong again. It was like all this back and forth, and it couldn't figure out how many R's were in this sentence. I'm like, dude, this is wild. But about Venice, by the way, so you have people pointing out Venice is actually not that private, and that Venice is just passing your prompts on to other LLMs, which are definitely not private, and that Venice technically, if they wanted, and they're saying they don't do this, but if they wanted, they can still see your prompts. Like, it's not private. And Venice comes back, and I forget the guy's name, but the dude at Venice comes back and is like, these are running on these, like, basically these machines that have, like, nobody can see them. We're not. Interesting chat. Token price crashed yesterday after the FUD, though. I don't know where it's at right now. I'm sure it's doing just fine. I still think it's a big deal. But yeah, less private. And by the way, Peter Steinberger came out and said, yeah, this was an older doc oversight. We want to be neutral on this. So, like, at this point, not weighing in. Here's Eric Voorhees, is the guy from Venice, saying, Venice neither observes nor stores prompts or responses, thus no eavesdropping. There are no records of convos. And then Ken saying, well, where's the proof? It's like, just trust me, bro, kind of stuff. Yeah, dude, it's a good conversation. Awful, I feel like that a lot sometimes too. I mean, it's just, some of these models, like, especially with GPT 5.2, I know a lot of people gush over it. I have not liked 5.2. 5.1 I thought was great. 5.2 I thought got really good at generating like images from like charts, graphs, stuff like that. I thought it was like the best I've seen. Like I was shocked at how well that did. What's up, Pryor? Good morning. Like that I could throw like data and stuff at ChatGPT and say put it in a chart or put it in a whatever, and it did it. And it wasn't like gibberish. It actually did it. And none of the other models did that for me. But everything else I would do just conversation with it. I think GPT 5.2 was a big step back, and it felt dumber, and it felt more like it was that reinforcing thing, and it felt it was more chatty and wasting my time. And it doesn't matter how many times I tell ChatGPT to keep it super brief, just give me the answer. It's like, yeah, it felt like it took a step back. I'm not using Claude, so I can't speak to that. I actually think Claude just keeps getting better. Grok keeps getting better, but I can just speak. ChatGPT feels like it got worse, and this is back a couple months, so can't wait for the next version. I'll say that. But yeah, the Venice thing will we'll see. Maybe not as bullish as we thought before. Want to keep moving, but I'm excited. I actually going to double check if the mini's coming because I think I have a new option for what model I'm going to run, which is Quen now has a model that's as good as I think people are saying um like Opus 4.6, which sounds crazy, but that you can run it local, which means you're not paying. Like you just run this thing locally, completely private, right? That's absolutely wild. I'll definitely be using this. So they dropped 4 new models yesterday. And I think this is your new default. I think this is what most people are going to move to for OpenClaw for right now. By the way, they just keep getting better and better and better and better. It's crazy. So this, as of right now, this is like my target, right? I'm going to run Quen, whatever version. Again, I'm still wrapping my head around all this, but I'll run this local. I'm not going to pay for the Claude $200 plan yet until I know I need it. But that's the goal, is to go right to that the second I do. But yeah, I'm going to run that local model, and that'll be, I think, the brains of it to start. So stuff's getting awesome. Getting awesome. Virtuals. We just got a couple other headlines. Awful Eye. Awful Eye. OpenClaw is the thing that made the agent stuff like explode this year. It's like it's a personal assistant that you run on a local machine that can drive your computer, and that like loops itself so it checks its work and it just works autonomously. It's probably like, it's just why I mean it is like, that promise of an agent, like you'll have a personal agent helper or whatever that can do everything for you. It's the first version of really that. It's that. So you run it on separate hardware, you give it access to whatever accounts, make new accounts like email, Twitter, like whatever accounts you want it to have. You give it accounts, you give it API keys to whatever, you just have it do stuff. It writes code, it builds apps, like, right, it's that. And I think it does really, really good. For local models, you're paying for a big NVIDIA GPU or a GPU. Yeah. These Mac Minis will run this, which is awesome. So I'm excited to try that. I think the hardware most people are using it can work. Can you run it on like a Raspberry Pi? I'm not sure. Awful Eye, dude. OpenClaw, like legit, like so good that OpenAI hired the guy who made it. It's like everything that's exploding right now with agents, you can pretty much thank OpenClaw for it. In fact, the Moltbook thing that happened because of OpenClaw. Crazy. I don't know what Virtuals is getting at here exactly, but AI will be biased. We need a neutral standard. They're coming with some kind of like truth protocol, or I don't know. We'll see. To NFTs real quick, and then we get to working on the mind. And I look at this and instantly my head goes to the mind and the last task I had to do yesterday, which is get me the global sales data from last week. And I got it back, and it got it wrong. So I'm back at that spot with like, got it wrong. And it's something last week it knocked out of the park. So saw a good take out there, Awful Eye, that AI is never going to be a good trader. And I don't know that I totally agree. I don't know if I agree yet, but It's just the idea that if everybody's doing it, I think this was part of the idea. If everybody's doing it, then everybody's kind of doing the same thing. And that guys who like have been, because like make no mistake, AI has been powering a lot of like trading for years. So much of it's algorithmic and it does use AI. It's like those guys are going to crush you. But like, I just do it super simple, right? I'm like, dude, a thing that can think more often than you, in a way, act more often than you, and not sleep and ingest more data all at once. Can do. I have to believe you can get an AI agent that trades more than you and better than you and all of that. I have to believe, but I don't think we're there. And I'm shocked we're not there, man. I can't figure out why we're not there. Okay, you need an external call to an LLM to run OpenClaw, either local or your personal or your favorite provider. Okay, so like, yeah, that's so I'll use Quen. I need to figure out where people say like break up agents that I don't know if it's tasks you can say for this task use this model and for this task use this model. I don't know if it works like that or if it's like this agent uses this model, this agent. I don't know if that's how it happens. But yeah, I think I don't know. You'll have like a main orchestrator. You'll have multiple agents running on the thing, but a main orchestrator and then all these sub agents. And I got to feel all that out. Like, can the one box run 20 agents or is it capable of like five or a lot to figure out? Mufasa, are you talking about trading? Um, okay. NFT sales volume, just over 5 bill yesterday. I'm kind of curious who's on our leaderboard here. Flying Tulip still cooking. Again, that's a token sale. But boy, dude, look at the top 10. And there's none of our traditional like favorite PFPs, like none of them. Actually, hang on. Is this like where's Bored Apes? Where's Okay, I think this is down. Yeah, I think tracking is not working right. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. Pretty sure that's not right. Because there wasn't like no Bored Ape sales yesterday and no Pudgy sales. In fact, there were a bunch of Pudgy sales yesterday. Let me just get that to the team real quick. Because that doesn't look right. I'm going to double check on OpenSea real quick too. Mufasa. Trading bot using time chain for the last 3 years and trading well. Are you doing that, Mufasa? Like you actually using it? All right, let's see. I mean, yeah, Pudgy's had. I mean, geez, like 400,000 in volume. So yeah, that is not correct. Yeah, let me give the team a heads up. Damn, I wish I caught that yesterday. Funny enough, though, man, like when I was like all of us like super dialed into NFTs, that wouldn't have gone a few minutes without noticing it. Let me actually peek. Hang on. I just want to peek at their page and see if yeah, let me see what's going on. Oh, dude, wait, come on. This hasn't been down for days, has it? Oh my god. Yikes. Has this actually not been tracking for a few days? Welp. That seems not good. That might explain the super low volume last week, actually. Let me peek at Bored Apes. Huh. Okay. All right. Hang on. I'm going to move from this in a minute. I just want to make sure we get this fixed real quick. Bored Apes. Yeah, this seems way wrong. Wow. Yeah. I'm just double checking if I'm doing something wrong, but I don't think I am. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm also tired of it, Mufasa, to be honest. So are you saying that time chain agents that are using time chain don't hallucinate at all? Like they've solved the hallucination issue? There's none? Cosmos, good morning, man. Like zero hallucinating? Which is badass. All right, we'll get that fixed up here. Modest death and taxes. Of course, we gotta hit it. Dude, he's starting to get some like look, kind of thought this was coming, some serious attention. And so not just the death and taxes collection, people are finding his art. I'm excited for that. Impossible to hallucinate. Interest. Wow, that's wild, dude. Um, Big sales dude for Modest. Again, outside of death and taxes, he's seen some of his 1/1s go for looks. 7th sale. Real collector. He's got very legit collectors who've got very legit bad like money. And there's a new bot set up that's showing his sales. And those sales are rocking. They are. And so I think there's a threshold of like point 0.1 or so. But his stuff is doing really, really well. Of course, lots of death and taxes still, but his additions and his 1/1s and all that. I grabbed this today. This is the one I had the offer out there for. But yeah, his stuff is looking pretty spicy. So it's just good to see a good artist getting some attention. I think he's worth paying attention to. I really believe that he's on that path. Look at that, point 0.7. He's on his path to being ACK level, which is pretty damn big. That's ACK is a guy who sees pieces sell for 10, 20 plus ETH. And I think Modest is heading that way. I do. I really believe that. He has more mints. He has way more NFTs, I believe, than ACK. So that'll change like market a little bit, like prices a bit, but he's heading to that level. He is definitely heading to, I believe he's heading to that level. So I would be paying attention to Modest big time. Big time. Okay. So we had that big sale. Love it. That might be an all-time high secondary sale for Modest. Boy, a little out of order. So let me jump out of there and then we'll get back into death and taxes. But the top holder of Pudgy Penguins been dumping Pudgy Penguins. 93 this year. 93 Pudgy sold this year. Around $1 million worth, has 38 of these left. You know, it's a bummer. I like looking at OpenSea, a Magic Eden for floor prices. I just think I don't know why. I just like how it looks. And we're not gonna be able to do that in a week. This is where I peak at floor prices, but kind of curious. Pudgies are at 4.5. And maybe part of why they're not getting any traction and why Bored Apes are actually like way outperforming them. It's that number one holder dumping. It makes sense too. What else do Pudgies have? Like, what else can they do? They're in a tricky spot. This is like Henry says all the time. It's like, doesn't matter what you do, none of that matters for NFT price. How cool it is all that matters for NFT price. So, like, you can have all the biggest partnerships. At some point, people get numb to that. At some point, it's just like, oh, there's another awesome headline, but they matter less and less and less. You better be what? The thing that'll move the needle is you get your holders airdrops. You make them money. That helps price. It does. But boy, I don't know what else Pudgies can do. And the way abstract is going, it's like going the complete wrong way. So yeah. So I'll stick to like the art stuff because I think that's got an audience and a market no matter what. So awesome sale. Game has started as in if you're playing the game, you start paying the taxes on your NFTs. That is officially open as of like 12 hours ago, a little more than that, but 12 hours ago, you pay your taxes. There's some more like rules to the game that have made it more fun, which is some of those NFTs have a bribe feature. If you have like a wealthy trait, you can bribe. If you swap the memento for one of these, you get a bribe as well. Bribe is if you're audited and you haven't paid your tax, you can bribe to get out of it. What we learned though is let's say you haven't paid your daily tax for 2 weeks. You pay the bribe and you don't actually spend money. You just like execute your bribe. You don't have to repay any of that. You lose your bribe now, but you just can keep going forward. So now the game got a little more complicated that you want to try to hide and not pay your tax as long as possible and then use your bribe then. You don't want to use your bribe day one and pay the tax, skip that tax, and then what? You saved 0.00069 ETH for the daily tax. You'd rather stretch it out for a few weeks and go unknown and then skip paying that whole chunk. Awesome. Awesome. It's a super clever game. Modest is a super clever artist. I read this wrong though, and I thought you could actually kill the person who audits you. And I don't think that's it, but you can definitely zap like days or weeks worth of taxes, which is badass. The audit's killed, not the person who did the audit. Anyway, a lot of fun. The game's really going to kick into gear tomorrow-ish. Tomorrow is when we'll face like the first eliminations in death and taxes. So people who didn't pay the tax got audited and then still didn't pay, they get killed. And so again, the game's going to get really, really fun then. And I'm still going to play it. I'm paying the taxes on mine at least for the first week, and then we'll see how things shake out. But I'm going to we'll try to make some money on the NFTs. I'm playing that game, not playing to win it. I'm playing to keep these alive so people will want to buy these and get them over the finish line. So we'll see. That guy and then the monkey, which by the way, I think we were live when it happened in the afternoon, but the monkey that I bought for 0.07 got officially the monkey trait. So now he became one of the rarest in the collection. And they're selling for what 0.7 to 0.1 to 1.5 ETH. So I'm looking to sell all of them, except the astronaut's going to go on my wall, except for him. And we'll see with this guy, but he's phenomenal. It's just such a great collection. Moving on, Magic Eden drama. By the way, Cats and you guys who are looking to like get on the staking site, I think. I mean, there's people who are not happy about this dude. What's up, Luna? Water's a big factor in this war. Elaborate, sir. So Dre, rightfully pissed off about the Magic Eden thing, paid out their earnings, right? Magic Eden now pays like shares earnings with the ME stakers. This dude is in the top 0.7% of staking power. This man got $18. So, fuck, I was going to say that sucks. Also, it's like, man, it's better than nothing. And to break even in 6.5 years maybe ain't awesome, but ideally, like you're also up on the tokens. Like this is not the craziest, but I don't know. I also get it. Also, though, this man hates gambling, which is weird. Hates gambling, but does crypto stuff. But hates gambling, so he doesn't want any part to do with that new site they have, that dicey thing, and I don't blame him for that. So a lot of fun about Magic Eden, and I get it. What's this about death and taxes that if you don't pay, you get moved to another contract? Can I buy from that other contract? Yes, you can. Yeah. If you don't pay and you're knocked out of the game, your NFT's burned and then reminted to that other contract. That's kind of it. If you paid the life insurance, your NFT looks exactly how it looked before. If you didn't pay the life insurance, it gets the color sucked out. It gets dithered. So it's like a little distorted. So that's kind of it. When you're out of the game, NFT's reminted. Man, Magic Eden. Fucking. Couple other quick things and then keep going long. But we've got, I think this is the first mining pool is now like processing or doing the BIP 1110 blocks. I don't know how this plays out, by the way. I'm not sure, but the first block signaling support for BIP 1110 was mined by Ocean. This is that new, fork that gets rid of ordinals. It's a temporary software proposal to cap arbitrary transaction data on Bitcoin for a year. They're literally, it's ordinals, runes. They call it spam. So it's that. But also, people have already found ways to put spam and images on it. So it's a silly, silly thing. I think it's a silly thing, but it's not for me to decide, and we'll see how it plays out. To me, it's just against the spirit of Bitcoin, but we'll see. Uniswap wins full dismissal on long-running scam token class action lawsuit. Right, people trying to hold Uniswap responsible for scam tokens that you can swap for. On Uniswap, it's a decentralized, exchange. They have every token. That's simple. So, all right, what else is going on out there? Let me just do a quick review. Man, I hope Mac Mini comes. I really hope Mac Mini shows up. Do you guys like when you're tracking packages, you know the destinations, right? You know like the hops it has to make along the way. And so you probably got like a local destination, like a local one right by you. Like if it hits there by this time, it'll be out today, right? Mine hit like the local place where I'm like, okay, it goes from there to my local post office. But if it gets that one by this time, I'm like, it usually makes it to my post office and makes it out. It's right there, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. I see it at Palatine. Palatine. I think it shows up today, man. I think so. Still shows tomorrow, but I think that I'd say like 30% chance it shows up today. We'll see. I hope, dude. I hope so bad. I want to play. I want to dive in. All right, let's get to work. Let me catch you up on what the mines are doing. Catch up on what my mines did and what they did wrong and what they've gotten right. And seriously did decent. Oh, by the way, let's see. Okay, let me clear off my screen here. I think I'm going to share the whole desktop like I did yesterday. The whole screen. Okay, hang on. Are we good? Boy, I might have to design a new layout for this because you'll see it looks kind of goofy. Boom. I think I'd go like this, but then we get. Yeah, I mean that'll work. That'll work. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Okay, where we were at yesterday, we got our noteworthy happening section done. We got 2 sections in Peep the Charts done. And I don't think the Peep the Charts parts were great at all, but they were fine. They were good enough. I'm gonna manually like reword some stuff like a little differently, but it got it done at least. Um, Probably saved some time to be honest, but it wasn't perfect. Headlines, we were waiting for that reply back. We were waiting for our headlines to come back. It's done. It's totally fine. It's not perfect, as in like the wording. I don't think it's just like totally my voice, but I'm gonna end up launching some new minds that um are trained from the start, like on the voice. You are this and your audience is this. That really impacts the voice more than I realized. So Happenings V2 got that training and his outputs were really good. None of my other ones have that. So I need to relaunch all of them, especially the one that we left off on yesterday, the Peep the Charts one. Because, like I left him yesterday and he's not replying to me now, which is actually a little frustrating. But we left him off yesterday with a request to get me the NFT global data summary, which is a paragraph he writes, compares last week's sales, number of sellers, number of buyers, number of transactions, and trade profits to the prior week. And my test was just tell him to do the thing. I don't want to give him any context, just like do the thing I told you to do last week. Didn't do good. It gave it back to me. It gave me an output, but it was incorrect. It completely hallucinated. So here was his reply to that finally yesterday, which came. When did he give it? We asked him for that at what time? 4:30. Wait. Hang on. I asked him for it. I feel like there was a lag there that he wasn't emailing me back. This is either right when we killed the stream, and I think maybe it was, or he's saying he emailed me back and then it never showed up, which doesn't make sense right there. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Again, I have to really keep some like detailed notes of what's happening here. But here's what he gave me back, and I want to zoom in so we can see it. But here's what he gave me back. NFT sales fell 8% to 112 million. And I know just from us reviewing it earlier in the day that was wrong. We saw 35 million sales. That should have triggered me to go look yesterday and see if it was right. Like yesterday morning, I mentioned it. And I was like, that's the lowest we've seen like literally in 5 years. It's because tracking seems to have been down. So he's saying 122 mil. It's not what the site shows. I looked at the other numbers because I'm like, it's all got to be wrong. He made it up. So I asked him, did you hallucinate the data? Here's the link. And I was way more specific. Use this time frame and compare it to this time frame. Translator, who's helped me with the prompting, right? It's another mind helping me prompt. He chimed in and he audited it to see what he did incorrect. He recycled a stale snapshot or synthesized the numbers. And so he's given me some tips, I think, here on how to fix that. His suggestion is actually launch a new mind. I've got to figure this out, how you get them to actually check themselves. Like, this is tricky. It is, unless you use time chain. But it's tricky. If you build an agent that its core instructions are to always check, always self-check, and then it doesn't self-check, how do you fix that? Because he's told to self-check. I'm pretty sure he is. I know the happenings one is. This guy, I think, is too. The draft violates the mandatory link-only anchoring. Does he? No. Okay, so translator's mixing up some instructions too. That part, there's no linking. So, he's saying the mind's not capable of blah, blah, blah. Recommend launching a new one. That was the plan anyways. That was the plan, is to launch a new one, so that's fine. My bigger problem is I asked him to do it again. I asked him twice. I asked him at 7:22, so an hour and a half ago, with the very specific instructions. I asked him again here, and he hasn't replied. So I don't know what he's doing. So we're going to do it again. And this part, the site needs to show, and it will show, like, where they're at. If they're having a cognition or if they're like not getting the instruction, I have to know what he's doing. I'm just doing this to like wake him up. Let's see if he replies. While we're waiting for that, since I got the headlines, I'm going to grab the headlines. I'm going to put them in the newsletter. Like, these are fine. I'm going to grab a couple more headlines to give them, but these are fine. These will work for, these will work. In fact, I might go with a previous one. That robot's getting fired. Yeah, I'm safe now. Robot's getting fired. Literally is. I mean, I'm gonna put that one to sleep. I tell them to hibernate and they'll stop emailing. Here, I like those a little better. So we're gonna use those. And then I'm gonna review the newsletter real quick so we know what we still have to do, which is a good amount. Like, we've got kind of a lot to do. Okay, the whole opening I'm writing. I'm not going to offload that yet. Noteworthy happenings, in my opinion, is done. I think it's fine. I think it was pretty decent. The AI stuff, again, I'm going to reword a couple things there. I want to manually add a DX research thing myself. The NFT part, these done. These are fine. This is what we're trying to get that mind to do right now. It's the market summary. That market, that might not even go this week because that data is not correct. I might just pull some numbers from OpenSea, but that part's not correct. So I might just do the screen. Actually, this screenshot won't be right either. That past 7 days is missing so much. So that probably is going to get skipped. I will do this. We may then actually train a new mind to do the crypto thing. That might be a whole separate mind. I think it should be. And it's a simple thing. It's, yeah, top 100 crypto by market cap. Give me the top five gainers, top 5 losers, and format it that way. It should be able to do that. That should not be any kind of problem. For right now, though, headlines going in. So this is fine. I would like a couple more headlines, so I'm going to grab a couple afterwards. So let's see. We've got this to do. This manually takes 10 minutes. Let me think. 10 minutes, 15, 10 to 15. Like it's just the typing it out. I can't imagine more than 10. Let's say 10 minutes for this. Um, 5 minutes for this. I could definitely say like maybe it's not even worth making a mind for it because it'll take me longer to launch minds to do it. But also it's less about right now. It's more for like still the next week. Can I just ask it for it and it gives it to me? Um, yeah, truthfully, there's not a ton left to do. This is and also because I think it's a light week for news, so this one's a lot less involved. Often it's like 2 times longer, like a lot more. But this isn't bad. So let me think of any big stories from the past week that we missed. Let me think. AI. Oh, you know what? Let me make some notes because we need to put in the Venice thing here. Venice belongs there. Venice might even belong in the top like noteworthy happenings thing. I'm not going to put it there, but let me put Venice and DX research. I want both of those. Um, I want both of those there. Also, now I'm remembering I didn't like the wording on some of these, right? I said I was going to manually adjust them. It gave me a new output that sounded way better. So I'm going to go back and get its most recent version. It was pretty good. Not that one. Yeah, it gave me a really decent one. It also again, unless I'm mixing up minds, but sent me like randomly market stuff. I got to tighten up a lot of the processes still. Yeah, so what I'm looking for is that AI section. I saw another output of it that was way better. Titles were way better. Was it the old happenings editor that gave it to me though? I don't think it was, but it might have been. It might have. Oh, excuse me, man. It's Peep the Charts, dude. That's who it was. Okay, that's starred. Peep the Charts. It should be this one. Yeah, it's this one here, I think. It's another thing to think through is like again how I'm like saving them and like filtering them. I'm definitely doing something that's not like super efficient here. I think this one's good. Yeah, this is the one that really stood out to me before is way like just didn't sound good. It was like the structure of the sentence. Virtual's protocol debuted Robo at a 50 mil FTV, which it launched. I'm going to leave that even though it went way higher. I'm going to check actually what it is. But like that's like the rule of Titan launches, right? They launch at 50 mil or above. I think I might just leave that. I'll just update that figure with what the FTV actually hit at the top. But those bullets are way better than that first version. So I'm actually going to keep those. Cats, what's the latest with Zyber? I don't know if you're still there, but what are those guys doing? I saw they're refunding, so I got my refund back. But I wonder what their next step is. Okay. Yeah, I think these are fine. Again, there's like two more. I mean, there's a lot more big stories, but at least two more big ones. Yeah, Moonship. FTV is a meme. I think it's why on what's it called? Cookie.fun. Why we see those $1 trillion market cap coins because it's exactly that. All right, one moment. All right, cool shit. This is totally off topic, but there were concert tickets I was trying to get last week, and they fucked up the pre-sale. Like it's the small venues. It's a really small venue, like tiny ass little show. It's like these 50, 100 people, maybe 150 these venues hold. Awesome. Went to go buy these tickets pre-sale, was on at the right time. Go on, they're sold out. The website, like the venue fucked up and listed them like 45 minutes early. So nobody got them except for like scalpers or anybody who just happened to be parked on the site. So dude added another concert date. I'm so pumped. Glenn Hansard, this like badass Irish folky kind of dude. Dude's great. Like he's great. And I'm like, that's not even my main. That's not my. I mean, I love that stuff, but it's not like my main thing I listen to. But he's one of my absolute favorites. What's up, Cheka? Good to see you, man. Yeah, dude, he's awesome. He's intense. I learned of him through Pearl Jam, right? He opened for Pearl Jam for a while. They've done some music together, but he's phenomenal. He's got a movie too. It's called oh, dude, Awful Lie. He's bonkers. You might love him. Yeah, he's got a movie called Once that's just amazing too. I think he won an Oscar for that, and he's won Grammys for the album. And yeah, dude's phenomenal. Definitely worth checking out. Okay. So how are we doing here? Let's see. I like the structure of these a lot. Like sentence structure is good. It doesn't matter if I like it because the mind's getting recreated, so it doesn't matter. But boom and boom. Actually, hang on, boys. Let me check my calendar. I feel like I got a meeting. Awful Eye, no. Dude, I think I fucked up and I think I have a meeting coming up here. Hang on. He's very non-Pearl Jammy, like he's just acoustic and folky and yeah, crazy. Yeah, I fucked up. I got a meeting in 10 minutes. Okay. Let me think how we got to do today. Meeting in 10 minutes. I'm going to skip another couple meetings. Yeah, I got to think of how I'm doing this. Because I want to get this over the finish line. I would prefer to do that live. Yeah, I guess I'm going to kind of wing it. Okay, goal is in within an hour to be back live. I'm kind of it's kind of a lot till almost noon. I do not have to go to them all. Okay. I will hopefully be live within the next hour to continue on. If that gets a little busier, then it means more crunch time for this because I got to ship this today. So I may end up tackling this a little faster, more manually. Also, like, keep pushing it to the mines. But if that happens and I don't stream getting the newsletter over the finish line, I'll still go live and probably like yesterday more in the very early afternoon, and we'll launch the new mines. And what I'll do is I'll just take the same links and feed it to the new mine and see what kind of output it gives me. And tomorrow we'd run the same thing. Tomorrow we'll just give it tomorrow's news and see if it outputs it. And the goal now will be similar to this week. Can I get the newsletter 60% without trying to think? Actually, you know what? We'll firm up the goals in the next stream. We'll do that this afternoon too, setting our goals for the next week. The ultimate goal is in a month that this is doing it all for me, except sourcing the links. I know that's going to take longer. I think it will. But we'll set the goals in that stream and write them down so we actually can like hold us in the mines accountable. Actually, that's probably something I need to be telling the mines. Your goal is by next week doing this and laying that out. That's actually probably important to give it. Set up the dude. If it's today, it's coming. If it's today, it's coming. But even if so, dude, I have to think through if I would have it take it over. You know what? I would, and then I would tell it to train the mines to do it too. My goal is to just like get the mines to do it. But damn, it still shows tomorrow. But yeah, again, 2 a.m. I think it'll be today. So we'll see. Yeah, and I will get that set up live too. So should be fun. All right. I'll see you guys later at some point. Hit the like on the show, subscribe Crypto Slam on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. We'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.